Yep. I don't normally do this, but that video was kind of hard to watch. I just can't imagine seeing it in person. And I'm grateful and happy that nobody was killed. I don't think anybody, well, there was that little one incident, but that person will recover pretty quickly. So glad nothing was really broken. No bones were broken. And these kids can, all that really matters is that those kids can see another day, and they will not be another hashtag. To be honest with you, even though I know it's the summertime, kids want to have fun. Kids want to, hang out with their friends. But we really need to understand that we are at war and that we cannot afford to have fun. And I know it's a lot of sacrifices. It doesn't mean that we can't do nothing or can't do anything enjoyable. But the thing is that we need to limit our so-called fun so we can get something done. We still are not tackling racial issues. We're still tackling it after the fact, and we're not going down to, we should be like going down to like these neighborhoods and just saying, hey, what is up? This was under your watch. What happened? Um, in this video, the kids didn't do anything wrong, allegedly. But I'll give the benefit of the doubt that those kids did not do anything wrong. All they did was just, go to the little pool party, have fun, listen to music. They're probably making a little noise, but I mean, it comes with the territory when you're having like, probably 50 to 20 people there. So, noise is about to happen regardless. Um, the kids didn't do anything wrong. I can just imagine how somebody like Painless, Risen, Tommy Sotomayor, um, I can imagine Tommy Sotomayor, and especially goddamn David Carroll, cooning this up and turning it around, you know, turning it around and blaming the kids about, oh, they shouldn't have been running. Oh, yeah, the officer was friendly at first until, the kids started running and they started acting like suspects. Oh, I can imagine him going on the black girls and being like, oh, that's what you get for running your mouth. Oh, but see, you had this, it had nothing to do with you, but you had to keep running your mouth. And I can imagine Tommy spinning it off, trying to, deflect. But my video is not about Tommy, so I'm not gonna stress over hypotheticals. Um, but like I said before, we are at war, and we do not have time or the luxury to have fun. Trayvon Martin should have been the wake up call. We didn't need it everybody else. We should have knew it beforehand, and we're still sleeping on it. And now, like predicted, like said before, a lot of black girls thought that ratchet behavior, and they thought that being a woman would, you know, save them from, white supremacy, police brutality. And we're seeing that, hey, these cops can give less than two fucks about your gender. They are not caring. They do not care. Um, I kind of wish that there were some black parents there. I think there was one, but he probably been from the neighborhood. And I can't. I'm pretty sure that these black kids were not from that neighborhood. I can pretty assure you that. Um, but black parents, their parents should have been there. But with the problem in the black community with black folks is that when we go over to other, like Sergeant Willie Pete would say, we go to other people's patriarchy. Um, we start getting giddy. We start getting all lovey-dovey. We feel special. We go to these neighborhoods and we see the luxury cars. We see the fancy houses and um, non-black faces, and we feel that, oh, we're special because we're special to be invited here. I'm blessed to be a guest in this neighborhood. You know, this is the neighborhood. These are the type of neighborhoods I inspire to be in. And we keep, despite, we'll just block off all the negative images of white people and the crimes that they have done to us, and we'll neglect it and just kind of bullshit ourselves that, oh hey, Trayvon Martin, that's not me. Um, Ricknisha McBride, that's not me. And we keep denying that this could be us at any time. At any time. We keep denying it. And young folks, especially these teenagers, need to realize that they're not welcome in those neighborhoods. I don't care how you look. I don't care about, how um I don't care about how different you claim you are among other black folks. It doesn't matter. They see you as the same. You know, do not feel special just because your white friend tells you, "Hey, come to my neighborhood. We're having a party." Do not feel special, and don't go. Black folks stay not getting it. And this is exactly what Tariq Nasheed's been saying for the longest. He said this last week about the Marvin Sapp situation. When more than 5 black folks are in a certain area, white folks are at alert. And this was even tested and done in on what was that show? What would you do? It was some show with some old Asian guy he would host, and what would you do? Yeah, they did like a couple situations like, with large amounts of black folks in white areas, but there was like two that I liked. There was one incident where there were these black kids in a diner, and they didn't want to pay the tab. They didn't want to pay for the meal, so they booked. Um, and the white folks were, they were like, they left. The white folks, I mean, the black kids left, but the white folks kind of came together, and they paid, they paid for their tab, so she wouldn't feel bad, this, that, and that. But there was like another one that I remember pretty well, where there was a situation with there were these black kids vandalizing a car, and I think the white mothers, I believe they called the police a couple times and they intervened. But there was like another situation where they reversed the script and it had, white kids vandalizing the car and nobody did anything. So we starting to see that. that there is a code, and there's a code of conduct that they do not violate, that they do not cross, even when they're among strangers. And black folks stay not getting it. Man, that video was just hard to watch. You know, I just hope that things get better. But black people, we really need a code of conduct. We really need to put the white community on the spotlight. We need to stop doing this divisive shit of good white folks versus bad white folks, liberals versus conservatives, Republicans versus Democrats. We need to stop playing with these little devices and divisions and just put the whole white community on the spotlight. And I just had to get this off my chest, you know, and don't expect black feminists like Feminista Jones to come out there and defend the girl who got arrested. I think she probably got pepper sprayed. I can't remember, but don't expect those girls. I mean those black feminists to do something. Don't expect Feminista Jones to come out there and if the kids how to don't expect her to do anything. Don't expect you know, for her to try to get the officers in court, and she'll pay for the legal fees and all that. Don't expect her to come out there. Or with any black feminist, you got Bell Hooks who just talks for silliness and non seculars. She's not gonna do anything about it. She don't want to mess up her relationship with Gloria Steinem. So don't expect that. Don't expect her to mess up their relationship. Don't expect Crystal and Karazine to come in because she's not gonna put white boys on the spot like that. Um, she ain't gonna do that. She ain't gonna talk. She's not gonna say like those officers shouldn't have did it. Those officers shouldn't have put their hands on a teenager. She ain't gonna say nothing. She never does. The only time that Crystal and Karazine talks about, white on black crime, or with police brutality, I should say. The only time she's gonna talk about it is when a white male kills a black male, and then she's gonna justify it and be like, well, those were thugs, those were violent people, those were criminals. We shouldn't care about criminals. And then I remember one time when she was talking about Mike Brown's situation, she was like, she called Mike Brown a thug. And, she was, criminalizing him. And, she was like, we shouldn't even be giving a damn about Mike Brown. We should be we should be fighting for, it was a black lady, and she ended up getting killed by some random dude that wanted to get her phone number, and she rejected him, and she died. Um, Luckily she had justice, but Crystal and Karazine, she doesn't give a damn about Mike Brown or her mother in that case, and so she just wants to create these divisions between black males and black males and black females, but she fails to realize is that white supremacy doesn't play favorites. And you're not going to sleep your way out of white supremacy. And you can even look on her page right now, she doesn't put white boys on the spot. Right now she has like these two articles about something about child abuse. And it's like there were like two stories lately about child abuse and rape, and it has like these two black guys and two black females, and all she can do is just put the black community on the spot. But she'll never put stories of these killer white boys who you know are these white boys who are coming into our communities and killing our children. This what happened, I think last week. Not last week. Well, I saw there was a news piece in Dallas, Texas. And excuse me if I'm going all over the place, but I just had to get this out. So there was a story that night, and there was this transsexual who was escort, and he I hate when that happens. And he was going to sleep with this white supremacist. But what ended up happening was that the white dude was drunk, and he was on a drunken rage before he met up with the prostitute, and he killed. I don't think he killed him, but he shot a little boy. And so right now the trial's underway, but Crystalline Carazon, she's not gonna put those white boys on the spotlight. She's not gonna talk about the white boys that come into our communities, sex trafficking our girls, but she's not gonna talk about that. But like I was saying about the video from Texas that we just saw, black boys, well, not even just black boys, everybody needs to hear this. Black teens, especially, y'all teenagers need to start listening to Tariq Nasheed. Um, it's not enough just watching his Hidden Colors videos, his documentaries. Watch his Ustreams, watch his podcasts, and try to catch his lectures. Also, you guys need to. A lot of teenagers really need to be listening to Jason Black. That's heavy. That dude is heavy. Y'all teenagers need to start listening to his Ustream. You need to start buying his DVDs. And, you need to link up with him on Facebook and get into the TMI group and also the Jason Black group. So y'all teenagers really need to drop the bullshit. Stop living in the fantasy world and really understand where you're at in this world, especially in America. So you don't have the luxury of playing around. I know it's the summer, but it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice we have to make for a better world, especially for us. We don't have that luxury as your white friends. And then speaking of those white friends that were in that video, you notice how the officers were very nice to him. You know, they were pretty nonchalant. I think one of the white boys picked up one of the flashlights, picked up a flashlight and was giving it to the cop. And the cop wasn't yelling at him like, "Did you steal it?" or "Where did you get this?" They weren't being all aggressive, weren't they? And you see how they were all close up on him when they were recording. You see how the white boys was recording, and I don't know who was recording the main video, but you know, you, you see this kind of authority relationship now when those white kids they're being subordinate now. They ain't trying to fight for their friends now. They just kind of standing back, letting the officers do their job. But they'll point out a few suggestions and say, "Oh, it wasn't him, it was that guy." Those white friends straightened up real quick and they got on their code. They got on their code. So don't expect your white friends or your non-black friends to fight for you or to do anything. Because I can bet you a couple of their parents called the cops on you. I can bet you that. I bet you their parents called the cops on you, and they knew what was going on. They knew there was gonna be a party in that pool house. They knew what was going on, but they were just saying like, uh-oh, there's too many black folks here. We're calling the cops anyway. And now we see what escalated. Black teenagers, y'all really need to understand how codes work. You really do. You really need to get a code of conduct. It's very important in the community. It's very important to understand racism, white supremacy. You have to know what codes are. Whereas I'm so tired of black folks, especially in that video, looking clueless as fuck about what's going on, what happened, what we do. You're looking clueless like a damn deer in headlights, looking clueless like a dumb blonde. And I know you guys didn't do anything wrong, but I'm just saying y'all are too damn old to be looking shell shocked when you see white supremacy in the face. You are looking a little bit slow. You kids have to wake up. You guys need to stop living in La La Land. Y'all need to stop daydreaming of living in a white neighborhood and feeling welcomed and feeling great about yourself. Gotta wake up out of that. I really wanted to go in and just kind of be a little angrier about it, but I'm just kind of not in the mood for all that. The story is pretty sad. I just glad that nobody, died. But with this video, we're now realizing who are our allies, and we see that we don't have any allies in the white community. We don't have any allies with our own divisions, counting on black feminism, black swirlers, and pro-black women groups. We see how they're not coming in to defend us, and so we realize that you know the remaining black folks, we are on our own. We don't. We're White supremacy isn't playing favorites. They're not picking off the young versus old, the educated versus the slow or they're not playing favorites with us, and we really need to realize that really quick. Um, we really need to realize that, and I might drop a comment on but then again, I really probably don't need to, because I just kind of want to put Feminista Jones on blast and just kind of say like, hey, we got kids here getting knocked up by white supremacy, and y'all feminists are just worrying about creating hashtags for trans people. What's up with that? So we really need to, put even our own on that spotlight. And the feminists need to be, the black feminists especially, they need to be put on the spotlight. They need to be outed. And they need to be exiled from black society. Because your silence is very deadly and it's very harmful. And we know that y'all are not playing, well, y'all are not supporting us. You will support, black ratchetness, and, you'll act like you are the protectors of black women, where we know that you're not. And then when you put up a front that you are fighting white supremacy, all you do is march and just complain and just do little YouTube videos that only has like 5 views, and then you realize that you don't have a good following, and that the only following you have is when you talk about gay issues and trans issues. You notice that people start watching your videos now, right? So we really need to get rid of some of these We really need to exile some of these, not some, all of these black feminists. Because we're seeing how they're not contributing and how they're not aiding us. And we really need to put our white so-called friends on the spot because we need to figure out where they stand in all this. And we really need to know what their parents think as well. Because this was intentional. This wasn't no, you know, oh shit, it's raining. But I'll just kind of, I'll just kind of get going. But I just want a lot of these teenagers to start thinking and start understanding what's going on in this world because they cannot afford to be stupid. They can't afford to keep doing the things that they're doing because their lives are in jeopardy.